Well, good afternoon, Dr. Martin-Vega. Thank you for joining us today here at the ETS Summit in Raleigh, North Carolina. Just continuing your discussion from your panel, your thoughts on education and from K through 12 to all the way up to college and the level that you teach. What do you see the direction going for NC State and the needs of the state and who needs to contribute?
Yeah, well, the panel that I was on was, the whole aspect of education in the energy sector, right? And so one of the points that I tried to share was that it's actually a good situation now. In the last 6 or 7 or 8 years, the tremendous renewed interest, if you will, because of what's happening in the energy space. The key to this is the excitement of what's going on. And the fact is that a lot of our young folks, not only at the university, we do an awful lot of efforts in K through 12. We have 16 plus summer camps that we have at NC State, elementary, middle, high school. We're able to focus a lot of that discussion around issues of energy and health and cross-cutting areas like that. A key part of this, though, is trying to reach our K through 12 students young. Middle school is really critical. If we're not sharing with them a lot of these opportunities and challenges and exciting them at that level, high school may be too late. And at the university level, we try to make sure when they come in the first year that they're exposed to the breadth of what's happening in this field, so that might be a possible choice for them too.
And the programs you mentioned, the summer camps, the solar summer camps that you have, well, what age group are those?
Well, no. So we have, I think, 1 or 2 that are focused primarily on energy, but we have the theme sort of embedded in many of them, right? So, and including elementary school camps and middle school camps. So elementary is 4th and 5th graders.
Really?
That we have, yeah.
Learning solar technology.
Well, no, here's the thing about it, David, that you say learning solar technology, you would be surprised how much they already know about this, okay? Oftentimes we think we're telling them something new and they immediately will say, oh no, I'm doing this in my home or whatever. But at least you provide a context. And what we want to do is sort of link that sort of basic understanding with where this can take them and what are the educational paths that they might want to follow to actually be players in this area. When they get a little bit older, that they can have the impact that we need to have them have, right? We need to have a workforce, a group of individuals technically based that really understand and are interested in trying to move this whole issue of energy and energy efficiency and renewables and everything else forward.
Agreed. And as your colleague stated, education is the future, and we at Zpryme try to do our best to educate the consumers of products that we may not necessarily carry, but just the general theme in Energy Thought Summit is to push those ideas forward. Any thoughts? What other programs have y'all subscribed to there at NC State?
Well, I think a key things for us has been, we've been fortunate in many ways. We have really outstanding faculty. It's a very large college of engineering. As I mentioned, we're the 7th largest producer of engineering computer science grads in the country right now. But the quality of our faculty has brought in some really outstanding grants and projects. You heard the Zpryme Center being mentioned over and over again. It's a National Science Foundation center, and its distribution and management of renewable energy. It's really very cutting edge in the development of technologies that are moving that whole sector forward. It's had tremendous economic impact in this area, spawned I don't know how many companies, a whole cluster of what are called clean tech companies. But more than anything else, it has really created a very interdisciplinary group of students and graduates who are being sought after now to either be the mainstays of the utilities and other companies that are developing through this, or creating new companies themselves. I mean, a lot of this is not just simply the ones that are manning the jobs that are going to be left over by people that are really dropping out. You saw how this workforce turnaround. It's a really creation of new jobs, and this is a really, really important sector to do that.
So Dr. Goodnight, being an NC State alum, he's contributed a lot with SAS in general to furthering education. And what would you see his programs being, or his ideals for his donations to go further and exceed? What do they get out of it other than an educated workforce?
Well, SAS is arguably the most outstanding, certainly one of the most outstanding analytics companies in the world. what he personally and what that organization have done for our university is pretty immeasurable. I mean, there's just tremendous programs that they've helped develop, academic programs in the areas of analytics. One that he didn't mention, he's a little modest about this, but it's the Goodnight Scholars Program. Literally, it provides full scholarships to a significant number of North Carolina students in the STEM areas, and many of those are engineering students, so we benefit tremendously from that. They're a very generous organization, but the other part of this is that they understand what their future is, and there's a real linkage between energy and analytics simply because of the tremendous amount of data that is starting to be generated and will be generated by the things that are being developed in the energy sector. You know, you heard this term, the Internet of Things, you keep hearing all the time, and he kind of kidded a bit about that, you know, the toaster talking to the this and the talking to the that and the IP. But the reality is that all this data is flowing, and they really are the ones that have the background and expertise to absorb that, to analyze that, and really that's going to come back and saying what are the things that are really most efficient in the energy sector, where are the new developments. I mean, that kind of organization is going to play a bigger and bigger role in the energy space.
I agree. You know, it's great to see, even though he's, you know, a champion and thrives on big data and analytics, but to see his push for education is very
tremendous commitment.
Yes.
He and his wife both are just really leaders in this. The organization itself, he mentioned that they invest very significantly in that activity and space. They've been tremendous developers of curriculum that actually help move you know, a lot of what's happening in K through 12 and others into these environments. So yeah, I mean, if every organization, I mean, I think they're sort of a model. If every organization were that committed and really, you know, put what they have, you know, it isn't just simply talking about it, but it's doing it, I mean, we would all be much better off. For sure.
Agreed. So how was your experience here at Energy Thought Summit?
Well, it was fun. I mean, you know, these are things that you enjoy doing. I appreciate the invitation. I appreciate, you know, your guys and your organization, you know, being behind all of this. I think a lot of this has to start with basic awareness. And what you were able to bring together, the people that were here today actually are a whole compendium of different parts of this. And to have them all in one place and have them talking to each other and having some of this information shared. You know, we have a lot of partners here in the things that we do at NC State. We've got a very significant cluster of what are called the clean tech kind of energy companies in this area. But they themselves also may not know necessarily a lot of what we do. We may not be quite as aware of some of them. So this, you know, it just brings a lot of important players together.
Well, thank you for joining us here. We look forward to your comments and maybe see you next year.
Absolutely. Take care. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it.